What if you could face any stressful situation not with frantic anxiety, but with the profound, unshakable calm of a Stoic philosopher like Marcus Aurelius or Seneca? This isn't a fantasy of emotionless detachment. It is the attainable reality of a mind that has been trained, a mind that understands the fundamental architecture of human suffering and possesses the tools to navigate it with grace, strength, and wisdom. We often live under the illusion that stress is something that happens to us, an external force that invades our peace. But Stoic philosophy offers a radical and empowering reframe. Stress is not what happens to you, it is your reaction to what happens. Picture moving through your days with this foundational inner stability. The sudden work crisis, the difficult conversation, the unexpected setback. These events would no longer have the power to hijack your nervous system. Instead, they become opportunities to practice your principles, to demonstrate your character, to build your resilience. This is the promise of Stoicism. It provides not just a philosophy to read, but a practical, daily operating system for the mind. The ancient Stoics, from the Emperor Marcus Aurelius to the former slave Epictetus, understood this deeply. They lived in tumultuous times, facing war, exile, betrayal, and death. Their writings were not academic exercises. They were survival manuals, mental drills designed to fortify the spirit against the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. They knew that while we command zero authority over the external world, we possess absolute sovereignty over our internal realm, our judgments, our values, and our voluntary actions. As Epictetus so famously taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Our peace, therefore, depends not on the events of our lives, but on the judgments we form about those events. By intentionally integrating specific Stoic practices, you can systematically build this resilience and cultivate a quiet mind, even amidst life's most violent storms. The practices we will explore are not complex theoretical constructs. They are actionable, down-to-earth steps. They are the mental equivalent of physical training. Small, consistent applications today forge the psychological strength for a more composed and purposeful tomorrow. This is a journey of transformation, and I am genuinely grateful you have chosen to take the first step with me. Before we delve into the specifics, I want to express my sincere appreciation. Thank you for selecting this guide from the vast and endless ocean of content available to you. Your time and attention are among your most precious resources, and it is a true privilege to share this path of Stoic wisdom with you. As we begin, I invite you to make a quiet, personal commitment to yourself. Commit to being fully present and engaged throughout our exploration. You bring your unique experiences, your unique struggles, and your unique potential to these teachings. Let's honor that by ensuring this time is deeply rewarding and transformative. Principle 1. Become the observer of your mind. Let us begin at the very foundation of Stoic practice, the cultivation of self-awareness. Have you ever truly stopped to notice the constant, often chaotic, stream of thoughts flowing through your awareness? This internal narrative, the running commentary, the judgments, the worries, the replays, is not merely background noise. It is the active sculptor of your emotional landscape, your daily choices, and ultimately the trajectory of your entire life. Most of us are so identified with this stream of thought that we believe we are our thoughts. An angry thought arises, and we become anger. An anxious thought appears, and we become anxiety. We are swept away by the current, believing the mental weather to be our fundamental identity. The first and most crucial Stoic practice is to step back from this identification. Self-awareness is the disciplined practice of tuning into this internal channel with detached curiosity. It is the process of understanding the origin of your feelings and reactions, of seeing the thought that precedes the emotion. This understanding is not merely intellectual, it is profoundly empowering. It is the difference between being a passenger on a runaway train and being the train's conductor. Imagine for a moment that there are two distinct aspects of your consciousness. The first is the thinker, or the experiencer. This is the part of you that feels the raw data of emotion, the surge of anger when criticized, the clutch of anxiety before a presentation, the flutter of excitement for a coming event. The second aspect is the observer, or the witness. This is the calm, silent, spacious awareness that can watch the thinker having its experiences. It notices the anger without becoming it. It sees the anxiety without being consumed by it. This observer is your inner Stoic. In challenging, stressful moments, your primary practice is to consciously shift your identity from the thinker to the observer. Your aim is to watch your reactions as you would watch clouds passing in the sky, noticing their shape, their size, their movement, but without needing to chase them, fight them, or stop them. You are simply the sky, vast and unchanging, and the thoughts and feelings are merely weather patterns passing through. This is categorically not about suppressing or denying your emotions. That is a path to inner conflict and psychological repression. The Stoic way is about comprehension. It is about understanding your emotions so thoroughly that they lose their power to commandeer your peace. You allow yourself to feel the full spectrum of human experience, but you do so from the stable vantage point of the observer. The daily practice, the pause and inquiry. When a strong, disruptive feeling arises, whether it's road rage, professional frustration, or personal hurt, your first task is to create a deliberate pause. Before you speak, before you act, before you react, you stop. You take one conscious, deep breath into your belly. In that sacred space of the pause, you gently inquire, what is the specific thought behind this feeling? What story am I telling myself about this situation that is generating this emotion? Is this judgment absolutely true? Is it helpful? Am I confusing my perception with objective reality? For example, if a colleague sends a terse email and you feel a spike of anger, pause. The thought might be, they are being disrespectful to me. That thought generates the anger, but is it true? Perhaps they are simply rushed or stressed or communicating in a direct style that you are misinterpreting. By identifying the judgment, you create a gap. In that gap, you find your freedom to choose a different response. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of this in his private journal, Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He wasn't saying to ignore events, but to realize that your fortress is your own perception. Start your training with the minor, daily irritations, the long line at the coffee shop, the slow internet connection, the misplaced keys. Observe your frustration. Locate the judgment. This shouldn't be happening. This is an inconvenience. Understand its trigger, and then consciously choose to release it. With consistent practice, this will become your default setting, allowing you to apply this profound equanimity to the larger challenges of life: loss, failure, and conflict. Self-awareness is a mental muscle. It atrophies without use and strengthens with consistent training. Every time you pause and observe, you are doing a rep for your mind. You are building the durable capacity for calm, clarity, and wise action, regardless of the external circumstances swirling around you. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our growth and our freedom. Principle 2. Forge resilience in life's furnace. Life, in its essence, is inherently unpredictable. It delivers moments of serene beauty and sudden, violent gales with impartial randomness. We all face setbacks from the trivial, like spilled coffee, to the profound, like professional rejection, financial hardship, or personal heartbreak. In these difficult, gut-wrenching moments, it is entirely natural and human to feel knocked down, disoriented, and defeated. But the Stoic proposes a radical inversion of the conventional narrative. What if we consciously reframed these challenges? What if we saw them not as cruel jokes of a malicious fate, but as the necessary, rigorous, and ultimately benevolent training ground for our inner strength? What if adversity was not the enemy of a good life, but its most effective teacher? This is the core of Stoic resilience. It is not a brittle toughness that tries to dodge life's impacts. It is the supple, robust strength of a willow tree that bends in the hurricane but does not break. It is about learning to absorb the impact, to feel the full force of the blow, and then to learn from it, to adapt, and to stand firm once more, wiser and more resilient than before. Every significant obstacle you overcome is like a repetition in the gym for your character. The burning discomfort is not a signal of destruction, but of growth. This philosophy is not about the toxic positivity of pretending pain doesn't exist. It is about the courageous act of facing your struggles directly, of staring into the abyss of your difficulties and refusing to be defined or defeated by them. The Stoic embraces the concept of amor fati, the love of one's fate. This is not passive resignation. It is an active, enthusiastic embrace of everything life offers, the good and the bad, because all of it is raw material for your development. Every challenge, no matter how bitter, contains a hidden curriculum. Not receiving the promotion you worked for is a masterclass in patience, humility, and perhaps a redirection toward a path more deeply aligned with your true purpose. Struggles in a relationship are a seminar in communication, boundary setting, and self-worth. A financial loss is a harsh but effective teacher in distinguishing wants from needs and in building resourcefulness. The pivotal shift, the essence of Stoic resilience, is moving from the disempowered question, "Why is this happening to me?" to the empowered inquiry, "What can this situation reveal to me? What virtue can I practice here?" Courage, justice, temperance, wisdom. Seneca, who faced exile and countless personal tragedies, wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Your trials are not meaningless interruptions to your peaceful life. They are the very substance of it. They are your most honest, demanding, and valuable mentors. The daily practice. The resilience, retrospective, and premeditation. Begin by conducting a resilience retrospective. Reflect on past difficulties you have already navigated, a past failure, a heartbreak, a period of illness. How did you ultimately persevere? What inner resources did you discover within yourself that you didn't know you had? Was it a stubborn sense of hope, a dark sense of humor, a quiet, deep well of patience? Document these. This is your evidence-based confidence. You have a proven track record of endurance. Then arm yourself with these insights for future challenges. When a new difficulty arises, actively recall your past victories. This isn't a naive pep talk. It is a reminder of your demonstrated capacity to endure and overcome. Furthermore, practice the Stoic exercise of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This is not anxious worrying. It is the calm, rational contemplation of potential challenges. You visualize a difficult scenario, losing your job, a loved one, falling ill, a project failing, and you mentally walk through it. You see yourself not falling apart, but applying your virtues, relying on your support system, and enduring. By doing this in a state of calm, you rob the future difficulty of its element of surprise and its power to terrorize. You see that you can endure it. This practice forges resilience in advance. Resilience is not a genetic gift bestowed upon a lucky few. It is a skill, a craft, honed deliberately through the fires of adversity. Every challenge, from a flat tire to a personal tragedy, is your personal invitation to master this essential skill. By accepting this invitation, you stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your character. Principle 3. Master the architecture of your perspective. Life for many feels like being adrift on a turbulent, unpredictable sea. Waves of events, some gentle, some terrifying, constantly shift and crash around us. It is easy, even automatic, to feel completely at the mercy of these waves, to be tossed about by emotions and circumstances. But you possess a powerful, often unused, anchor that can hold you steady in any storm. Your perspective. Your perspective is the unique lens through you view the world. It is the internal narrative, the set of assumptions and judgments that you apply to any given situation. The foundational Stoic truth, as articulated by Epictetus, is that men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. The event itself is neutral. The suffering is generated by your interpretation of the event. Visualize your mind as a clear, still, deep mountain pond. It perfectly reflects everything placed before it, the majestic trees, the clear blue sky, but also the passing storm clouds and the churning winds on its surface. The key insight is this: the pond itself remains unchanged. The reflections are not the pond. Similarly, you can learn to reflect life's events, the praise, criticism, the success, the failure without being fundamentally turbulently stirred by them. You are the pond, not the weather it reflects. This practice of detached observation is often mistaken for cold indifference. It is the opposite. Indifference is a lack of care. Stoic detachment is a profound form of care that is not dependent on outcomes. It is the ability to maintain your inner peace and moral compass amidst external chaos. It is the clarity that allows you to act virtuously even when you are afraid, hurt, or angry. Every single day, you are faced with countless micro-choices of perspective. How will you interpret a critical comment from your boss? As a personal attack or as valuable feedback for growth? How will you view a traffic jam? As a monstrous inconvenience stealing your time, or as an unexpected opportunity for a few minutes of quiet reflection or to listen to an audiobook? How will you frame a financial setback? As a catastrophic failure or as a forced lesson in frugality and creativity? These moments are your daily gym for practicing Stoic principles. You cannot control the other driver, your boss's mood, or the fluctuations of the economy, but your reaction to these things is your sovereign domain. This is where your true, unassailable power lies. The daily practice, cognitive reappraisal. This practice, known in modern psychology as cognitive reappraisal, is a core Stoic technique. Start small. The next time a minor annoyance arises, a slow-moving person in front of you, a technology glitch, institute the pause. Take one deep, conscious breath. Then, ask yourself this pivotal question: is surrendering my hard-won calm and peace of mind worth this minor event? Then, actively reappraise the situation. Search for a different, more empowering perspective. This slow line is giving me a moment to just stand and breathe. This computer crash is forcing me to take a needed break from my screen. This criticism, while painful, contains a kernel of truth I can use to improve. Visualize yourself responding with this new, centered perspective. See yourself calm, rational, and in command. With repetition, this process of reappraisal becomes increasingly automatic, your default setting for navigating not just minor irritations, but significant life challenges like betrayal, loss, and failure. Altering your perspective is not about invalidating or bypassing your genuine feelings. It is about becoming the master of your mental landscape. It is about managing your judgments in a way that preserves your inner command and allows you to act from a place of principle, not from a place of reactive emotion. This deliberate shift in perspective is one of the most transformative tools in your Stoic toolkit. Use it wisely, practice it daily, and you will witness your entire world transform, not because the external events have changed, but because the internal lens through which you view them has been polished to clarity. Principle 4. Cultivate a grateful heart. In a philosophy often associated with sternness and discipline, the central role of gratitude can be surprising. Yet, for the Stoic, gratitude was not a sentimental afterthought. It was a powerful cognitive practice for maintaining equilibrium and joy. A genuine Stoic gratitude practice is not about plastering a fake happy face sticker over real and painful problems. It is not a denial of life's genuine difficulties. Rather, it is the disciplined and diligent search for the specks of gold glittering in the mud. It is the active, intentional effort to find the small things that are still right, still beautiful, still functioning, even when entire sectors of your life feel like they are falling apart. It is a balancing of the scales so that your mind is not completely weighed down and immobilized by the negative. Let's make this practical. Consider a classic bad morning. You are running late and you just miss your bus as it pulls away from the curb. The automatic, conventional perspective is frustration and annoyance. This is a terrible start to my day. Now I'm going to be late. The Stoic practice of gratitude would prompt a reappraisal. Okay, I missed the bus. That's the reality. But now I have an unexpected 10 minutes. I can stand here under the open sky, feel the sun on my face, and just breathe. I can use this time to plan my day. This is a gift of time I wasn't expecting. Another example, you stain your favorite shirt right before an important meeting. The common reaction is anger and frustration. The grateful reappraisal might be, this is annoying, but it's also a nudge to break out of my style rut. Maybe I'll wear that other shirt I haven't worn in months and discover I like it even more. The daily practice, the 3 blessings inventory. Incorporate a simple but profound ritual into your daily routine, either first thing in the morning or the last thing before sleep. Take out a journal, a simple notebook will do, and physically write down 3 specific, small, positive things from the last 24 hours for which you feel genuine appreciation. The key is specificity. Do not write, I'm grateful for my family. Instead, write, I'm grateful for the genuine laugh I shared with my daughter when she told me that silly joke this morning. Do not write, I'm grateful for my job. Instead, write, I'm grateful for the sense of accomplishment I felt when I solved that complex problem at work today. Do not write, I'm grateful for food. Instead, write, I'm grateful for the rich, deep flavor of the coffee I drank while watching the sunrise in silence. This practice forces your brain, which has a natural negativity bias, to actively scan your environment and your experience for positive data. You are quite literally training your mind to see the world through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. Certainly, when you are in the throes of a genuinely terrible day, a significant loss, a deep disappointment, this practice can feel trivial, even insulting. But that is precisely when it is most potent and most necessary. It is a psychological lifeline. Stuck in gridlock traffic, it is now a protected, silent space for a solo concert with your favorite music or a podcast that teaches you something new. Feeling overwhelmed and inadequate at work, you are in the arena, being tested and forged, building competence and courage with each difficult task you face. Dealing with a painful illness, you can be grateful for the dedicated healthcare workers, for the support of loved ones, for the moments of relief, for the resilience of your own body fighting to heal. This practice echoes the wisdom of Epictetus. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This conscious reorientation of attention from what is lacking to what is present is not a Pollyannish delusion. It is a strategic and game-changing recalibration of your entire mental landscape. It is the practice of finding the light, not cursing the darkness. Principle 5. Accept the river of impermanence. Look at the world around you. Everything, without a single exception, is in a constant, flowing state of transition. The seasons turn relentlessly. Technologies that were revolutionary a decade ago are now obsolete. Your body is constantly renewing its cells. Relationships begin, deepen, change, and sometimes end. Careers transform. Financial fortunes rise and fall. The one undeniable, non-negotiable constant in the universe is change itself. Yet, as humans, we have a deep, ingrained psychological resistance to this fundamental law. We cling fiercely to the way things are, to the people we love, to our health, to our possessions, to our status. We build our identities and our sense of security on these shifting sands, and then we experience profound suffering when, inevitably, they change. Resisting impermanence is like trying to hold back the ocean's tide with your bare hands. It is utterly exhausting and ultimately futile. The Stoics did not just acknowledge this truth, they placed it at the center of their practice. They cultivated a mindful detachment, constantly reminding themselves of the fleeting, temporary nature of all things. The phrase, "this too shall pass," is a quintessentially Stoic idea. For the Stoic, this was not a morbid fixation, but a profoundly liberating perspective. Understanding that no state, no pleasure, no pain, no success, no failure is permanent, frees you from the exhausting tyranny of clinging and aversion. When you are in the depths of sorrow, grief, or physical pain, the conscious reminder, all conditions are transient, serves as a critical lifeline. It is not a dismissal of your suffering, but a calming, grounding truth. This intense suffering is not your new, permanent reality. It is a wave that has crested, and it will, in time, subside. This knowledge alone builds immense resilience and the capacity to endure. Conversely, when you are experiencing peak joy, success, or pleasure, the very same declaration serves as a grounding wire against hubris and attachment. It reminds you to appreciate the beautiful moment fully, precisely because it is temporary. It prevents you from building your identity on a foundation that is destined to crumble, allowing you to enjoy the feast without assuming the banquet will last forever. The daily practice, memento mori, and negative visualization. The most direct practice related to impermanence is memento mori. Remember, you must die. This is not a morbid or depressing practice. For the Stoic, it was the ultimate tool for creating a life of urgency, purpose, and vitality. The regular, calm contemplation of your own mortality is the lens that brings life into sharp, brilliant focus. When you genuinely internalize that your time is profoundly limited and precious, it instantly vaporizes trivialities. Petty grievances, chronic procrastination, and the desperate thirst for superficial validation are revealed as the foolish wastes of a finite resource that they are. Ask yourself each morning, if this were one of my last days, would I spend it like this? Would I waste it on this argument, this resentment, this mindless distraction? This practice infuses your days with intentionality and courage. A related practice is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, which we touched on earlier, but in the context of gratitude. Briefly contemplating the potential loss of what you have, your health, your loved ones, your home does not create fear. It generates a profound, active, and fierce appreciation for them in the present moment. It makes you value what you have before you lose it. By consciously internalizing the transient nature of all things, you learn to hold life more lightly. You engage with passion, virtue, and full commitment, but you do not clutch. You become like a seasoned sailor who understands the sea is always changing, and therefore remains adaptable, resilient, and free from the shock and despair of every new wave. You flow with the river of life, rather than exhausting yourself by trying to swim against its current. Principle 6. Extend the circle of compassion. Stoicism is sometimes misinterpreted as a cold, self-sufficient philosophy. Nothing could be further from the truth. A core principle of Stoicism is that humans are fundamentally social creatures designed for community and cooperation. We are part of a larger whole, and our own well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of others. Therefore, compassion for both ourselves and others is not a soft, optional extra. It is a rational and essential Stoic practice. Compassion, in the Stoic sense, is rooted in clear-eyed understanding and rational kindness. It is the recognition that every single person you meet, including yourself, is navigating the complex, difficult journey of life as best they can with the knowledge, resources, and emotional capacity they have available at that moment. Everyone is fighting a hard battle you know nothing about. It is remarkably easy to be harsh, critical, and judgmental both toward ourselves when we make mistakes and toward others when they fail to meet our expectations. But what if you consciously chose to offer understanding instead? What if you treated yourself with the same gentle kindness, patience, and encouragement you would readily offer a dear friend who was struggling? When you err, when you fail, when you act against your own values, the common, automatic response is self-flagellation. I'm so stupid. I always mess up. I'm a failure. The Stoic practice of self-compassion interrupts this cycle. It invites you to be gentle with yourself. Instead of corrosive self-criticism, you ask a constructive question. What can I learn from this experience? How can this mistake make me wiser or stronger? You treat yourself with the fundamental compassion and respect that every human being deserves. Remember, self-kindness is not self-indulgence or making excuses. It is essential psychological maintenance. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot offer genuine patience and kindness to others if you are constantly berating and depleting yourself internally. This same compassionate understanding must be extended outward. The rude cashier at the supermarket may be grieving a loss. The colleague who snapped at you in a meeting may be overwhelmed with personal stress. The friend who has been distant may be battling a silent depression. This is not about condoning poor behavior, but about understanding its source. It allows you to respond to the person's pain rather than reacting to their behavior. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of this in his meditations. Accept humbly, let go easily. And elsewhere, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. He advocated for tolerance with others and strict discipline with oneself. The daily practice, the compassionate pause. Before reacting to someone's perceived offense, institute a compassionate pause. Take a breath and consciously bring to mind the fact that this person, like you, is a human being who wants to be happy and avoid suffering, and who, like you, is struggling in their own way. This simple mental shift can completely transform the interaction from a conflict into a potential connection. Ultimately, practicing compassion creates a more peaceful and humane world for everyone. It starts with the quality of your inner dialogue and ripples outward into every relationship you have. It deepens connections, reduces your own stress levels, as judgment is a heavy burden to carry, and fosters a genuine, unshakable sense of inner peace. It is not always the easiest path. It requires strength to be soft, but its value is immeasurable. In a world that can often feel cold, harsh, and judgmental. Choosing to be a consistent source of warmth, understanding, and rational compassion is one of the most powerful and stoic actions you can take. Watch as this commitment transforms not only your inner experience, but also the lives of everyone you touch. Principle 7. Anchor yourself in the present moment. Where is your mind right now? As you read these words, is your attention fully here, or is it replaying a conversation from earlier today? Are you worrying about a task you must complete tomorrow? Are you planning your dinner? This tendency for the mind to be anywhere but the present moment is one of the greatest sources of human anxiety and stress. We spend vast portions of our lives mentally time-traveling, and in doing so, we miss our actual lives as they are happening. Being fully, completely present, immersed in the current moment without judgment is a cornerstone of Stoic practice and a powerful antidote to stress. The Stoics didn't use the modern term mindfulness, but their writings are filled with exhortations to focus on the here and now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason and character which today guard you against the present. The past is gone, a memory. The future is a fantasy, a projection. The present moment is the only reality you ever actually experience. When you are fully present, stress and worry lose their power." Anxiety cannot survive in the present moment because anxiety is, by definition, a fear of a future event. When you pull your attention back to what is happening right now, the feeling of your breath, the sight of this text, the sounds in the room, the anxious thoughts have nowhere to root. You are not fretting about tomorrow's deadline or regretting yesterday's mistake. You are simply here. This focused presence brings immense clarity and calm, allowing you to handle situations with a level head and a clear mind. The daily practice, sensory grounding. You need no special equipment, apps, or courses to practice this. Start by regularly engaging your 5 senses. This is a technique called sensory grounding. Whenever you feel stressed, anxious, or in your head, pause and consciously note 5 things you can see: the texture of the wall, the color of a pen, the light from the window. 4 things you can feel: the chair against your back, your feet on the floor, the fabric of your shirt, the air on your skin. 3 things you can hear: the hum of a computer, distant traffic, your own breath. 2 things you can smell: your coffee, the air in the room, a book. 1 thing you can taste: the lingering flavor of your last meal, a sip of water. This practice forcibly yanks your awareness out of the abstract world of thought and into the concrete reality of the present. Try to bring this quality of presence to routine activities. When you eat a meal, just eat. Taste the food. When you take a walk, just walk. Feel your body moving. When you are in a conversation, truly listen. Don't just formulate your response while the other person is talking. As Seneca observed, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Like any skill, mindfulness requires consistent practice. Set simple reminders on your phone or associate the practice with daily activities. For example, every time I walk through a doorway, I will check in with my breath. This regular practice gradually rewires your brain, shifting your default state from one of distracted time travel to one of greater presence, calm, and engagement with the only life you truly have. This one, right now. The present moment is the only time over which we have any real dominion. Principle 8. Pursue progress, not perfection. The relentless, often unconscious quest for perfection is one of the most insidious and stress-inducing traps of the modern mind. We set impossible standards for ourselves, our work, our relationships, and our lives. When we inevitably fall short of this flawless ideal, we meet ourselves with frustration, self-recrimination, and a sense of failure. This perfectionism is a recipe for chronic anxiety, procrastination, born from the fear of not doing it perfectly, and burnout. The Stoic alternative is both more compassionate and more effective. Focus on growth, not on perfection. Focus on continuous learning, consistent improvement, and forward motion. This doesn't mean you abandon high standards or strive for excellence. It means you pursue your goals with the wisdom that flawless, error-free execution is not the point. The point is the journey of betterment itself. The goal is progress, not a perfect, static destination. Embrace the concept of being a lifelong student of your own life. Seek out small, manageable opportunities for growth every single day. It doesn't have to be monumental. Maybe it's practicing a new way to give constructive feedback, reading a few pages of a challenging book, learning a single new word in a foreign language, or patiently working through a complex problem without giving in to frustration. Growth happens in the grand, life-changing challenges and in the tiny, daily, almost invisible efforts. It is about gently, consistently expanding the boundaries of your comfort zone. Every single step forward, no matter how seemingly insignificant, is a victory worthy of acknowledgement. Celebrate these moments of progress. Finished a demanding, unpleasant task? Take a moment to recognize your discipline and effort. Learned something valuable from a mistake? That is growth. Acknowledge the wisdom gained. Managed to stay calm in a situation that normally triggers you? That is a major victory. Celebrate it. These small, internal celebrations are not arrogant or self-congratulatory. They are essential for building a resilient mindset oriented toward progress, not paralyzed by the fear of imperfection. They provide the motivation to continue the journey. Remember, growth is a continuous, endless journey, not a final destination you arrive at one day. There is always another layer of understanding to uncover, another skill to refine, another aspect of your character to strengthen. This path is not about reaching a mythical state of finished perfection, but about the ongoing, dynamic, and rewarding process of evolution itself. As you wholeheartedly adopt this mindset, you will find that the immense stress and self-imposed pressure of perfectionism begin to dissolve. They are replaced by a sense of continual accomplishment, curiosity, and deep fulfillment. You become kinder to yourself, more resilient in the face of setbacks, and more joyful in the process of simply becoming. These 8 principles are not a checklist to be completed, but a living compass to be consulted daily. They are the pillars of the Stoic mindset, a philosophy not of passive resignation, but of active, virtuous, and courageous engagement with the world. Become the observer of your mind, forge resilience in life's furnace, master the architecture of your perspective, cultivate a grateful heart, accept the river of impermanence, extend the circle of compassion, anchor yourself in the present moment, pursue progress, not perfection. Consistency is the crucible where abstract philosophy transforms into lived wisdom, where knowledge becomes character. Repeat these principles. Write them down. Contemplate them in the quiet of the morning and review them in the reflection of the evening. Wrestle with their meaning. Most importantly, apply them to the small, daily irritations and to the great, defining challenges alike. Watch over weeks and months as your mental framework strengthens and your inner citadel is built. Observe how you become less reactive, more centered, more resilient, and more compassionate. You will find that you are no longer a fragile leaf tossed about in the wind of circumstance, but the steady, deep-rooted tree that stands firm, grows, and provides shelter through every season. Your inner dialogue builds the architecture of your character. Let these 8 declarations be the blueprint for a life of profound strength, genuine peace, and purposeful meaning. If this perspective resonates with you, if you feel called to build this unshakable core within yourself, then please like this video, It genuinely supports our channel, Stoic Mindset Mastery, in sharing this vital wisdom with others who are seeking the same path. I am deeply curious to know which of these 8 principles landed most powerfully with you today. Which one will you take and apply immediately in your own life? Share your insight in the comments below. Your reflections create a community of learning and growth that benefits everyone who reads them. Thank you for your time and your commitment to your own growth. Remember, the ultimate goal of Stoicism is not to have a trouble-free life, but to develop a trouble-proof mind. Stay disciplined, stay resilient, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you in our next video.